In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to draw a line or a shape with thread. And I'm going to start out, I've got my needle and my thread ready. I've got a little knot on my thread already at the end, right here. I am going to take my fabric and I'm going to draw my shape or my line. I'm going to start this one with a circle. This is going to be the back of my fabric. So I'm drawing a line with a pencil. I have a really light color fabric so I can see it easily. If you have a darker color fabric, you could possibly use a marker, a Sharpie, a light colored Sharpie or a dark colored Sharpie depending on the color of your fabric. I'm going to start by poking my needle down through the back of the fabric on the line. And then I'm going to poke my needle back up. I might have to poke it through a couple of times to find where the line is. Get my needle through the line. When I pull it through, I'm going to back it up just a little bit. I want to put my needle in front of my knot between these two pieces of thread. So I'm going to poke it through that little hole between the thread, and then I'll pull it tight, and that way my thread won't come out while I'm sewing. So I'm going to poke it back down on the line and then back up on the line. I'm going to try to keep the spacing of my stitches the same. Depending on what you want it to look like, you might want your stitches closer together or farther apart, or longer or shorter. So these ones I'm keeping pretty short and pretty close together. So I'm just following this line that I've drawn all the way around. When I get back to the other side, I have this tail already that I'll tie my end to. So I'll tie my two ends of my thread together. I'm going to keep sewing around on my line until I finish it. I have one that's finished already that I will show you. So on the back it looks like this, and on the front you can see my line is starting to form, my shape starting to show up. This one, I completed my circle. I had I drew my line on the back. Now I've got my two tails, the beginning tail and the end tail, that I can tie together. This is going to be just like the way you would start tying your shoes, regular kind of knot. I'll tie it 2 times, cross them over, put the end through the hole. My tails are really short. Try to keep your tails longer. Tie it 2 times, and that will tie it off. I have another circle here where I cut a circle out of my fabric first. I placed it on top of my front fabric, and then I sewed right along the edge. So I did the same kind of sewing the shape, drawing the line with my thread, but when I sewed the shape on, my shape actually is stuck on my fabric now. So I can either just sew the shape and draw the line with my thread, or I can actually draw the line with my thread on top of another piece of fabric so that it stays. So either way.